Well, that's it. The league's over, in fact. We can put this away now. Cheers. See you next season.
Penalty to Rangers.
That was absolutely brutal. The refereeing was woeful, the penalty decision was ridiculous, and somehow the referee managed to make things even worse later in the game. But as angry as I am about the officials, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that's why Rangers lost this game. We were terrible as well, and right now there are much bigger problems at Rangers than one bad refereeing performance. Let's start with that penalty because I genuinely don't understand it. When VAR asked the referee to go over and look at the monitor, I was already thinking, here we go. But even then, I thought surely he'll look at this and stick with his original decision. Somehow, he watches it again and decides to give Hibs the penalty. For me, that's an absolutely horrendous decision. This is the thing that frustrates me about VAR. It's supposed to correct clear mistakes. It shouldn't be looking for reasons to completely change a referee's decision when there hasn't been some massive obvious error. The referee had already seen the incident and didn't give a penalty. He's then invited over to watch it again and somehow comes away thinking he's made a clear mistake. I just don't see it. Then later we've got Ross McCrorie taking a nasty knock to the head and somehow play is allowed to continue. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Thankfully, Cammy Devlin comes flying in with a brilliant tackle because Hibs were suddenly in a dangerous position. But we're constantly being told how seriously football takes head injuries now, so why is that passage of play allowed to continue? The refereeing today was honestly woeful. Having said all that, I'm not going to blame the referee for everything because that would be far too easy. Rangers were simply terrible. Even without that penalty decision, there was nowhere near enough in that performance. We looked uncomfortable defensively, we struggled to control periods of the game, and once again I'm watching Rangers wondering where the confidence and authority is supposed to be coming from. The defence is becoming a serious worry already. I understand that we've changed a lot of players and it's going to take time for people to learn each other's game. I'm not expecting a completely new defence to suddenly look like they've been playing together for 5 years, but Rangers don't have the luxury of taking months to figure this out. Every week that passes while we're still trying to gel is another opportunity for teams above us to pull away. That's the part that concerns me when people say we just need to give it time. Of course we need to give it time, but how much? Because while we're waiting for everything to click, the league keeps moving. Points don't get handed back in October because you've finally figured out your best defence. If this continues much longer, we're not just talking about falling behind first place, we could find ourselves fighting to catch second as well. One positive for me was Yokota. I thought there were flashes again where you could see exactly why Rangers wanted him. He's direct, he's positive, and he actually looks like somebody who's willing to make something happen rather than always choosing the safest option. That's why I was surprised when he came off. Maybe there was a tactical reason for it. Maybe there was something physically going on that we don't know about, but I didn't understand that decision at the time. Obviously, McInnes is going to get criticised after results like this. That's what happens when you're Rangers manager. Nobody is going to care that you're only a few games into the job when points are being dropped. But I also think putting all of this onto Derek McInnes would be completely unfair. This is a manager who had Hearts competing at the top of the league for the majority of last season. He didn't suddenly forget how to manage a football team. The massive difference for me is recruitment. Look at the squad McInnes had at Hearts and look at what Rangers are trying to build right now. Hearts recruited really well and built a side that actually looked balanced. Right now, I don't think Rangers have done that. We've brought players in, yes, but bringing players in and actually improving the areas you desperately need to improve are two completely different things. I've said it before and I'm going to keep saying it until something changes. We need defenders that you can trust, not experiments, not players we're hoping might develop into the answer eventually. Rangers need defenders who can come into that team and immediately make it better. Until we sort that out, I don't care how many exciting attacking players we sign because we're going to keep giving teams opportunities at the other end. So yes, the referee was terrible today. I think the penalty decision was awful and allowing play to continue after McCrorie's head knock was just as frustrating. But Rangers can't hide behind any of that. The performance wasn't good enough. The defence isn't good enough and we need this team to come together very quickly. McInnes has plenty of work to do, but the people responsible for recruitment need to give him a squad capable of actually doing that work.